Welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, and today we're talking about money in your bank won't make you rich, but your investments will. So the Runpreneur vlog is part of the Runpreneur challenge, which is our mission to save the lives of children by raising a staggering £1 million for 6 amazing children's charities, which between them cover the whole spectrum of issues affecting children on a global scale. And we're going to do this by embarking upon a crazy running challenge of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of 1 lap around the world. To put it in perspective, it is a 12-year challenge of consecutive daily running at least 5 kilometres whilst vlogging, and I even do it barefoot style. It's 40,075 kilometres in total. It's a staggering just shy of 25,000 miles. So it's a huge challenge, but for an amazing cause. So if you want to find out how to support the challenge, please go to the links in my bios or to the website challenge.runpreneur.co, and let's get started. So this should be hopefully a pretty short episode today. It's a pretty easy concept, but one that so many people get wrong. Okay, and there's a lot of kind of belief or mindsets going around about how the wealthy differentiate from the poor. And when it comes down to it, it comes down to basically this, and it's super simple, but still the poor people, or the people who are stuck in the rat race, don't seem to understand this concept well enough. And it's simply that money in your bank doesn't make you rich. Okay, the more money you have doesn't make you rich. It's the more investments that builds your net worth that does. And it's a simple concept. Okay, the problem is most people are stuck in this so-called rat race of what is commonly known as, whereby you work hard, you earn a living, you earn good money, and then all the money that comes into your account every month, you cover all your costs, expenditures of living costs, etc. Anything extra you might spend on a holiday, or fun, or nights out, and all that side of things, which, you know what, is great. You only have to live, but they put nothing away for the future. They might have a company pension scheme or something that is invested in on their behalf as part of their employed job, but pension schemes these days are so menial, and I don't know enough about them, but I know that people can't really afford to live the life they want to live on a Joe Bloggs kind of average pension scheme. There's some pension schemes out there still very good. I think the NHS, the teachers ones, I think some of the forces pension schemes are pretty good, but most kind of professional corporate entities that have pension schemes are not great, and they rarely will build up to enough for you to live on into your retirement. You add it to the fact that I think life expectancy now in the UK is somewhere in the early 80s. So if people are retiring at 65, you've got 20 years to fund without earning. Okay, that's a big chunk of time, and they're supposed to be the years that you enjoy yourself as opposed to scrimping and saving. So back to the original point, you know, money in your bank is one step better than spending your money every single month, of which, like I've explained, so many people do in the rat race. And I'll give you another analogy in just a second. I'm just going past someone, so just bear with me a moment. Morning. The analogy is you get a lot of high earners that fall into this category. And a prime example is, well, it's not an analogy, it's an example. In historical times, for me, during my kind of working short stint in corporate working life, I used to work in medical sales, and I distinctly remember there was a thoracic surgeon, so a surgeon who specialises on lung surgery. I had to take him to a seminar that was about a 3-hour journey away. Okay, so 3 hours, just me and him in a car. You strike up a conversation, you learn quite a lot about them, and I was quite openly talking about my ambitions of getting into property and investments at the time, and he took a real interest in this. And I was quite surprised, because this is a key opinion leading surgeon who's well renowned in Europe for his surgical procedures, earns a huge amount of money, you know, just on his NHS salary, let alone probably a couple $100 grand a year on private work as well. But he said to me, you know what, I'm trapped, and I'm not going to lie, I earn very good money. I have a very big house. I have a very big family. I had 6 kids. He says I have expensive cars. My family want to go on expensive holidays. And it's just, a hamster wheel. I have to do this all the time. I'm trapped to provide the standard of living that my family have become accustomed to. And what it transpired is you know what? It's actually easier to escape the rat race if you're earning a menial salary. And I don't mean to say that disrespectfully, but a smaller salary is easier to kind of replace. Whereas if this guy's on probably 2, 3, maybe 400 grand a year, and his family are accustomed to living in that style, to make sacrifices to allow him to break away from his day-to-day is huge. And it will take a huge amount of time for him to build up a revenue stream elsewhere to cover that. So the moral to the story here is that stage 1 is if you're in the rat race, okay, you really need to think about this. The whole concept of this episode was money in the bank won't make you rich, but I've just explained to you what people are like, the cycle of money, how it comes into the bank and goes out really quickly. That's worse than having money in the bank, okay? Money in the bank is one step up from that, because that's savings, okay? That's liquidity. That's money that is hopefully left over from your day-to-day expenditure or month-to-month expenditure. But that still won't make you rich, okay? You're going to get the bank-related level of interest. Even in the best savings accounts, the interest rate is so low. So the concept is if you can invest a little bit of money on a continual basis, so keep growing it, maybe month by month. If you've got a little bit of money surplus every month, put it into an investment rather than paying for exuberant holidays and these types of things. You can still do that, but just do it on a smaller scale, so you're always putting maybe 5% of your income into some kind of investment, whether it's property, stocks and shares, trust funds, commodities. There's so many different companies, there's so many different things you can invest that money into, okay? And you're not all going to work, but over the course of time, if you do it with the right strategy and you look at them kind of medium to long term, you should get an increase in value in the money you've invested. And you've then got the impact of compounding if you're adding more money to it every month, and added to the fact that any money that's going up or any value that's going up in your investment, it then gets interest on the higher amount. So it's like an exponential curve that if you stay in the game long enough, your investments will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and you'll become very wealthy from a net worth perspective. So I just know so many people who don't do this, and they're never too late to start. It's certainly better starting earlier, but better to start now than never. And if you get this right, it will give you that security and that protection in your future years that so many people don't have. And I fear as life expectancy levels are going up, people's savings and investments are not following that trend, which means there's going to be a lot of people who are struggling significantly when they get to their later years, added to the fact the increasing costs of care and support. So that's pretty much it for me today. Hopefully I've explained what the concept is, how you go about doing it. I've given you some examples of when and where it works. I'll explain for me how I do this. I income bucket every month. Okay, I have set buckets for my fixed costs for living. I've set income buckets for my variable expenditure essentials like food, clothes and things that we need. I have variable expenditure for fun, so socialising, shopping, those types of things. I have a holiday account, so money's put aside for holidays every month. I also have a big purchases account, which is for home improvements or insuring for when things go wrong in the house, etc. And then all the surplus goes into investments. And I have set amounts in each of these pots. Some people do this percentage based, but anything that's above and beyond, if I have a particularly good month, more money gets invested away. It doesn't mean I have bigger and better holidays. The holiday budget I put gives us holidays that we're happy and enjoy. The funds I have in my fun account and all that side of things are enough to enjoy life as me and my family like to do. But we've always got a concept in the back of our mind thinking about the future, and that's why we do what we do. So hopefully that gives you an idea about how I operate and how it can help. So why should you do this? Well, if you want to have a secure future, I would not be reliant on a company pension scheme unless it's an incredibly good one. But pensions are a notoriously complicated topic, and if you ask for the pension information about your company pension, you'll probably get a booklet that's like a fictional book or something you have to read. and the jargon will be quite difficult to understand. So it'll be quite difficult understanding how that pension scheme works. So in the grand scheme of things, I would always rather take control of my own destiny rather than reliance on a company pension that may or may not bear the fruits in the future. So I hope that's useful. I'll leave it there with you. If you've got any questions on this stuff, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. Please remember that the Runpreneur vlog is part of the Runpreneur challenge, which is our big picture objective here to save the lives of children by raising £1 million for 6 amazing children charities, which between them cover the whole host spectrum of issues affecting children on a global scale. I'm doing this by run vlogging on consecutive days, a distance of 1 lap around the world. It's a 12-year in total challenge of consecutive daily running, at least 5 kilometres whilst vlogging and barefoot style. So to find out how to support me, please go to the links in my bios or check out the website challenge.runpreneur.co. It's just .co. There's no .co.uk or .com. It's challenge.runpreneur.co, and Runpreneur is spelled RUNPRENEUR. So challenge.runpreneur.co to find out more. Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.